করি স্বপার্ষদ শ্রিয়া ধাম সহবতরে শ্রীকৃষ্ণ চৈতন্য প্রভু জীবে দয়া করি স্বপার্ষদ শ্রিয়া ধাম সহায়বতরে অত্যন্ত দুর্লভ প্রেম করিবারে দান শিখায় শরণাগতি ভকতের প্রাণ অত্যন্ত দুর্লভ প্রেম করিবারে দান শিখায় শরণাগতি ভকতের প্রাণ দৈন্য আত্মনিবেদন ভক্তৃতে বরণ দৈন্য আত্মনিবেদন ভক্তৃতে বরণ অবশ্য রক্ষিবে কৃষ্ণ বিশ্বাস পালন অবশ্য রক্ষিবে কৃষ্ণ বিশ্বাস পালন শ্রীকৃষ্ণ চৈতন্য প্রভু জীবে দয়া করি স্বপার্ষদ শ্রিয়া ধাম সহায়বতরে ভক্তি অনুকূল মাত্র কার্যের সীতা ভক্তি প্রতিকূল ভাব বর্জন অঙ্গীকার ষড়ঙ্গ শরণাগতি হইবে যাহার তাহার প্রার্থনা শুনে শ্রীনন্দ কুমার ষড়ঙ্গ শরণাগতি হইবে যাহার তাহার প্রার্থনা শুনে শ্রীনন্দ কুমার রূপ সনাতন পদে দন্তে তৃণ করি ভকতি বিনোদ পরে দুহু পদ ধরি রূপ সনাতন পদে দন্তে তৃণ ধরি ভকতি বিনোদ পদে দুহু পদ ধরি কান্দিয়া কান্দিয়া বলে আমি তো অধম কান্দিয়া কান্দিয়া বলে আমি তো অধম শিকায় শরণাগতি কর হে উত্তম শিকায় শরণাগতি কর হে উত্তম শ্রীকৃষ্ণ চৈতন্য প্রভু জীবে দয়া করি স্বপার্ষদ শ্রিয়া ধাম সহায়বতরে শ্রীকৃষ্ণ চৈতন্য প্রভু জীবে দয়া করি স্বপার্ষদ শ্রিয়া ধাম সহায়বতরে জয় সচিনন্দন জয় গৌরা হরি সচিনন্দন জয় গৌরা হরি জয় স্বপার্ষদ জয় গৌরা হরি স্বপার্ষদ জয় গৌরা হরি জয় গৌরানিতায় 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 জয় গৌরানিতায় জয় পঞ্চতত্ত্ব জয় পঞ্চতত্ত্ব পঞ্চতত্ত্ব জয় পঞ্চতত্ত্ব প্রভুপাদ 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 জয় জয় প্রভুপাদ জয় সচিদানন্দ শ্রী গৌর হরি কি জয়। So thank you very much for all the devotees for joining today to take part in this final last day of Sri Gaura Katha. So we have wonderful presentation today by, where did she go? Krishna Kanti Gopi, going to do wonderful presentation. Also we have discussion by Pran Govinda Prabhu. So Ribol, Vishnupriya,
Yes, Gopadada.
what happened? Where did Krishna go?
I think we lost her, but I'll message her right now and see.
Okay, okay. So meanwhile, I would like to welcome all the devotees who are here, as well as His Grace Pran Govinda Prabhu, who's been so wonderfully joining us every day. Even he came to see us here in New Orleans over the weekend, drove back, still continuing the class. So wonderfully, he has taken on us on this wonderful journey from Navadvip, Jagannath Puri, we went to Vrindavan, and today we are going to return again back to Jagannath Puri and see Mahaprabhu's last Antya Leela's final pastimes. And today also is our final class. At the end, we will have a short quiz that you all devotees can participate in. So without further delay, I think there is Radhakantis that should be Krishna. So we'll ask her to start. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hey Krishna Prabhu, Krishna's internet. This is Garangi. Krishna's internet is crashing right now. She's actually at home, and we're not with her. So she's trying to get her internet back up.
Okay, okay. So I think Pran Govinda Prabhu, maybe we can start the discussion with you, and then whenever she is available, maybe she can do that, or towards the end of it. Thank you.
So, am I audible?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. We can do some Puspanjali together, all. You can collect in your saddle body some beautiful flower and offer it to, as we pray to each personality, all the way to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Radha Krishna. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Yenanjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurube Namah Sri Chaitanya Manovistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Sayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Shapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Jutapada Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathannitam Tam Sajivam Sadaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanitangsha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Tinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunnavadi Paschata Deshatarine Panchakalpataruvescha Kripa Sindhubhaivacha Patitanam Pavanebho Vaishnavebho Namo Namah Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Binda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare. Is she back?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, yes I am.
Are you trying to hide from us?
No. My internet just crashed, so hopefully this doesn't happen again, and I apologize for that. I'll start. So before I start, I'll do my Mangalacharan, and then I'll begin. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manovishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Shakajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Mitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakamitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinavandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanusate Devi Pranamami Hari Pre Namayom Krishna Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine Namayom Krishna Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Jayapataka Swami Niti Namine Namachaja Padaya Nitai Kripa Padayine Gaura Katha Damadaya Nagar Gramatarine Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangurangayatim Kirim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinim Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Panchakalpataruvasya Kripa Sindhuvaiva Cha Patitanam Pravanevya Vaishnavevo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, all devotees, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you for joining us on our 6th day of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's seminar. Before I begin my presentation, I would like to first thank His Grace Govinda Prabhu for always encouraging us and entrusting us to present with such a highly knowledgeable text and believing on us. So thank you so much. And then I would like to thank His Grace Sutapa Prabhu for making the many volumes and volumes of Chaitanya Charitamrita into this short and easy summary of Chaitanya Charitamrita compact. It is very wonderfully made. I have learned a lot of things, and hopefully one day I will read again. And lastly, I want to thank His Grace Goparati Prabhu, who constantly look for ways to engage this ISKCON youth to participate in various sevas. So thank you for organizing this and letting us participate. And last not but least, I would like to thank all the Vaishnavas that are assembled here, and thank them for coming today and coming for other seminars too. And I would like to take this opportunity to ask forgiveness from all the Vaishnava devotees. So if I make any mistakes, which I know I will, so please forgive me, as I have limited knowledge and so little understanding and realization. So thank you once again for giving me this golden opportunity, and I'll begin my presentation. So my presentation is the last couple of chapters of Chaitanya Charitamrita. It is Intoxication and Instruction, Ananta Lila from 14 to 20. So in his final years, of 12, in his final 12 years, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu retreats into seclusion. His feelings of separation from Krishna result in highly elevated transcendental moods, displaying the character of a madly intoxicated lover of God. So we'll be talking first for intoxication, which is chapters 14 to 19. There's 3 subdivisions, which is feelings of separation, lessons of eagerness, and instances of ecstasy. From all of these 3 divisions, we will see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has 2 consciousness. One is external and one is internal. Internally, he's wishing to be in Vrindavan Dham. He wants to see all the pastimes of Krishna and he remembers all of these pastimes of Krishna. And then when he comes back to his external surroundings, he faints, and Swarup Damodar and Ramananda Rai pacify him or enhance his mood by singing this wonderful bhajans. So we will first go into feelings of separation. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu secluded and remained in the Gambhira, the garden of the house of Kashi Mishra. He was obsessed day and night in the thoughts of Krishna. Krishna Dasa described his situation as corresponding exactly to the gopis in Vrindavana after Krishna's departure from Mathura, and his emotions exactly corresponded to Srimati Radharani when she met Uddhava in Vrindavana. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was surrounded by few intimate associates, by Swarup Damodar and Ramananda Rai, who led this intimate surrounding. And they were Swarup Damodar and Ramananda Rai were Lalita, Vishakha, and Krishna Lila. So moving on, we have lessons in eagerness. We have 2 wonderful stories, which I'm pretty sure all of us have heard before, but I will just say it in short. So lessons in eagerness. Eagerness is a natural characteristic of an advanced Vaishnava, and the cultivation of such eagerness is the fuel which drives forward our spiritual journey. Nestled in this ecstatic narration are some instructive stories on the quality of eagerness and enthusiasm. So there's 2 devotees that's been stated in this chapter, which is one woman from Orissa. So this Mataji, she had an intense desire to see the deity, which was Jagannath. And this desire prompted her to climb onto the Garuda Stamba. As you can see in this picture, she is climbing onto the Garuda Stamba. And by placing her foot on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's shoulder. And of course, this is a serious breach of etiquette, and Govinda tried to stop her. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately interjected and appreciated her great eagerness to see Lord Jagannath and praying that he develop a similar enthusiasm. And of course, when she came into the realization as what she has done, she obviously begged for mercy and forgiveness. And then there was the story of Kalidasa. Kalidasa was the uncle of Raghunath Das Goswami, who visited Jagannath Puri along with the Bengali Vaishnava. In addition to his instant chanting, he was renowned for his great eagerness to honor the prasadam remnants of Vaishnava. He would hide while the Vaishnavas ate and then secretly relish the leftovers from their rejected plates. So this incident happened when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was cleaning the temple, which is called Gundicha Marjan. So before Jagannath comes, we all clean the temple. It happens in Mayapur, it happens in our ISKCON New Orleans, and we all try to clean the temple. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, along with his associates, were cleaning the temple, obviously there's waters that's like going around and they're all cleaning. So Kalidasa took that opportunity and he drank the water that touched Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's feet, and therefore he was blessed. And these are the stories and lessons in eagerness. Moving on, we have instances of ecstasy. In this chapter, or in this section, we have several different stories. I'll just mention a few of them as I took pictures. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's ecstasy resulted in bodily transformation and delirious behavior, which resembled that of a madman. He would sometimes catch hold of the necks of his associates and plead, "My dear friends, please listen to me. What shall I do? Where shall I go? Where can I get to find Krishna? Please, both of you, tell me how can I find him?" In this way, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu exhibited the intense longing of a pure devotee. Due to his feelings of separation, a variety of occurrences would trigger and induce his transcendental madness. This would agitate a variety of bodily transformation and ecstatic symptoms, which could only be pacified by the loud chanting of the holy name. After coming back to the external consciousness, Sri Chaitanya would come back into external consciousness. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would again fall into a deep separation. He would request Ramananda and Swarup Damodar to soothe his consciousness by reciting appropriate verses from the scriptures and singing selected songs. So all these pastime, we can see that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu internally he sees something, he sees either an ocean and he thinks that of a Yamuna and he jumps into the ocean, or he sees a stone and he thinks that of a Govardhan hill and he goes and hugs. And then we have other instances. So I'll just go in depth with few, and then Pran Govinda Prabhu, if he wishes, he can go into more depth into the other few stories. So the first one is Krishna as Jagannath. So this one is connected to the story that I have previously said about the woman from Orissa. So while taking darshan in the temple, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu perceived the deity of Jagannath as the coward boy Krishna. While being so absorbed in the static meditation, the Orissan lady stepped onto him and thus returned to external consciousness. Seeing the deity as Jagannath, again, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was plunged into anxiety and moroseness, thinking he had left Vrindavan and now he was in Kurukshetra. When various aesthetic bodily symptoms manifested, he began explaining how the yogi of his mind had become completely captured by Krishna. And then there's the story of the sand dune. So the sand dune was that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw a sand dune and he mistook it for Govardhan Hill, and he began running towards it with great anticipation, falling to the ground in ecstasy. When he came back to consciousness, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained how he was witnessing the beautiful scene of Govardhan and the pastime of Krishna. He began to lament that he was no longer there. And then I'll say the last one, which is jumping in the sea. Jumping in the sea, this was the instance while Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was reciting verse describing the Rasa Leela. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu reached the section glorifying Krishna's flocking with the gopis in the Yamuna River. Absorbed in the mood and instinctively jumped in, he fell unconsciousness, floated downstream, and eventually disappeared out of sight. After a desperate search, the devotees encountered a delirious fisherman who had retrieved what he had thought was a dead corpse. After handling the body, he manifested signs of madness, and he concluded he was now haunted. Swarup Damodar could understand that this was the transcendental effect of touching Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's body, and he thus pacified the fishermen. The devotees went to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, whose body had become subject to mystical conclusions. After chanting loudly, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu suddenly returned to consciousness and enthusiastically narrated the water pastime of Krishna. So these are the three stories I've narrated. And if you want to hear more stories that are mentioned here, Pran Govinda Prabhu can go in depth with these stories. So although these historical pastimes are unfathomable to spiritual novices, they do highlight a practical aspiration that each one of us can strive for. The quintessential spiritual vision is highlighted by Sri Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. For one who sees me everywhere and sees everything in me, I am never lost, nor is he ever lost to me. People complain that they cannot see God at work, that he has not manifest in person before their eyes, and that they don't have any direct experience of his existence. Show me God, and then I'll believe in him. The sceptics persist. The entire process of bhakti, however, is meant to purify our consciousness and bring us face to face with Krishna. over time, one can learn to see Krishna everywhere. So Sutapa Prabhu has given the time, and he enunciates time into this wonderful explanation. So I'll go over the explanation of time. So T stands for temple. Some people doubt that God can appear in a material form made of marble, metal, or wood. To them, it appears limiting, imaginary, and childish to treat God like a doll by bathing him, dressing him, and feeding him. Deities, however, are not simply representations or icons, but actual manifestation of divine personality. Anyone who enters such transcendental exchange with devotion and sincerity can personally experience a deep and direct reciprocation. I stands for individual. The advanced Vaishnavas, by virtue of their knowledge and devotion, see Krishna seated within every living entity. They treat all beings with utmost respect and practically perceive how the supersoul within different individuals can offer guidance, inspiration, and instruction. M stands for material nature. A devotee sees Krishna as the source of creation, and also within the creation, the extremely intricacy and sophistication of the cosmos reminds one of the higher intelligence behind it. As pearls are strung upon an indissoluble thread, God similarly designs, creates, and sustains the entire universe, yet remains invisible to the immature observer. Krishna is also perceivable within the creation. The taste of water, light of the sun, and ability in a man are all examples of us all-pervading opulence. One can thus think about, meditate upon, and see Krishna within every aspect of the material world. And lastly, E stands for events. Not a blade of grass moves without the sanction of God. A mature and realized devotees can thus Krishna's hand behind everything, impregnating each event with purpose and meaning. Rather than becoming sentimental, elated, or depressed and down, a devotee gracefully embraces every situation as part of the Lord's master plan for his spiritual development. And this finishes the chapter of 14 to 19. And why does all of these feelings of separation, eagerness, ecstasy matter? So when I was in Nectar of Devotion, I still remember the 9 symptoms of a pure devotee was a deep longing that we need to have the desperation to see the Lord. And this desperation attracts Krishna. And when the Lord sees one is longing, he comes and gives them the darshan. So we need gradually, but surely we will all have desperation one day to see the Lord, which will result in longing, separation, and eagerness and ecstasy. And Srila Rupa Goswami cites in his Padyavali that if I have to choose between union with Krishna and separation from him, I would choose separation, because when I'm with Krishna, I only see one Krishna. But when I'm separated from him, then I see Krishna coming towards me from every corner of this universe. Also, Srila Prabhupada instructed all the devotees to cry prayerfully for Krishna while chanting his name. So when we are addressing Hare Krishna, oh energy of the Lord, oh the Lord, please accept me. That's all. Please accept me. We have no other prayer. Please accept me. Lord Chaitanya taught that we should simply cry and we should simply pray for accepting us. That's all. So this vibration is simply the cry for addressing this Supreme Lord, requesting him, please accept me, please accept me. And we can see there's several stories or songs that's been written by our previous acharyas like Bhaktivinoda Thakur, like Kobe Habe Bolo She Diro Amaro, and then Narottam Das Thakur wrote this Jayanilo Premadhano of songs of separation. So moving on is the last chapter of Ananta Leela, chapters 20. We have Shikshashtakam, closing pastimes, and concluding word. Chaitanya Charitamrita concludes with 8 essential prayers, Shikshashtakam, which encapsulate the teachings and instructions of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Shikshashtakam. So Shikshashtakam is prayers that we always recite after Mangalarti, after we do Tulsi Arti, then we obviously we always recite Sikshashtakam, and it's very essential and very important to us. And why is it important to us? Because although Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had defeated the greatest scholars, educated the Goswamis, and philosophically convinced those who were averse to Krishna, he didn't personally author any literature. Instead, he left 8 succinct verses which comprehensively encapsulate the mood, mission, practices, and theology of Gaura Vaishnavism. The spiritual significance of these historic stanzas has been described by Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj. Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj says, we should recognize this valuable key that can open sacred doors to spiritual world. As we recite these slokas daily, we should constantly endeavor to enter more deeply into their meaning and mystery. This Sikshashtakam states that conclusion of Krishna, consciousness, and offers the culmination of all Vedas. Therefore, it is the necklace that all Vaishnavas should wear. A necklace worn around the neck practically touches the heart. These verses are essential for us and should be kept close to our hearts. They should not be viewed as optional or as an extracurricular aspect to our spiritual life. So from this, we can understand how important Sikshashtakam is, and we'll move forward to the next section, which is the closing pastimes. After spending 12 years in this kind of ecstatic reflection, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu finally left the world. Krishna Dasa humbly submits that his narration are like a drop of unlimited ocean of nectar. He credits all his writings to Krishna and various representatives who graciously showered with him blessings and empowerment. And then we have the concluding words. Krishna Dasa begins the Chaitanya Charitamrita with an invocation, philosophically preparing the reader to hear the sweet pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The next chapters describe the incarnation and education of Nimai, who became renowned as the greatest scholars. His true purpose, however, was to spread the movement of Nama Sankirtan, and this only manifested after a pronounced transformation, initially by his mantra initiation, and later, though his sannyas initiation. Now known as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he settled into his life of renunciation, making Jagannath Puri his headquarters. From here, he journeyed all over India in mass propagation of the Sankirtan mission. As years went by, his desire to visit Vrindavana kept growing until he finally fulfilled the long-cherished aspiration on his return journey to Jagannath Puri. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu strategically met Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami, carefully instructing them on the organization of the Sankirtana mission. Retiring to Jagannath Puri for the final years of his life, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu resided with his devotees, offering appreciation and correction to practically establish the culture of Vaishnavism. After extensively doing that for 6 years, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu retreated to house of Kashi Mishra and absorbed himself in the spiritual intoxication of Srimati Radharani. In these final years, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu offered 8 stanzas of instruction to carefully guide the future generation in this beautiful process of bhakti. So since we know how essential Sikshashtakam is, I request all the devotees to chant the Sikshashtakam with me, and then I'll end my presentation here. Cheta darpana marjanam bhava mahadavagni nirvapanam Shreya kairava chandrika vitaranam vidya vadhu jivanam Anandam buddhivardhanam patipadam purnamrita aswadanam Sarvatma sannapanam param vijayate Shri Krishna sankirtanam Nam namakari bahuda nija sarvasakti Tattarpita niyamita smaranena kala Etadrishi tava kripa bhagavan mamapi Durdaivami drishami hajanina anuraga Trinadapi sunichena narorapi sahishruna Amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari Nadhanam najanam nasundarim kavitam vajagadisha kamaya Mama janmani janmani bhavatara bhakti हेतु की त्वयि अहिनन्दतनुजा किङ्करं पतितं मम विषमे भवामुदो कृपया तव पादपङ्कजाश्रितधूलिसदृशं विचिन्तय नयनं गलधश्रुधारया वदनं गदगदरुधाय गिरा पुलके निचितं बपु कदा तव नाम ग्रहणे भविष्यति जुगायितं निशेन चक्षुषा प्रविशायितं शनयितं च सर्वं गोविन्द विरहेण मे आशिष्टभापदारतं विनष्टुमामदर्शनं मर्महतं करोतु वा यथा तथा वा विदुधातुलं पटो मत्प्राणनाथस्तु स एव न परः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु की जय So that ends my presentation. I'll request Pran Govinda Prabhu to please start with his nectarian lectures. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay. Mother Krishna, you have expressed such a wonderful, I don't think require any more explanation. Only problem I found myself that I'm not eligible even to get such a high estimation. So seems like Mahaprabhu's distribution of Krishna Prem is in the like a very high sky, and I am like a little dwarf trying to catch it. What Mahaprabhu says, a dwarf trying to catch the moon. So I changed my mind. I want to just see if it is relevant to us, how, and then we'll see, go for more explanation if it's needed. Is that okay? Because I feel like I'm like lost. Mahaprabhu's ecstasy, the way you presented is so nice, so wonderful. It's like $1 million worth, but I'm a poor beggar, don't even have a $1. So I just felt like a little lost. Thank you so much. It was really good. And I pray and hope Krishna gives you that connection to experience that ecstasy in this life before you leave this world, so you can enter in the spiritual domain with all those devotees around surrounding you. You have mentioned very nicely in Bhakti Shastri how these 9 symptoms you mentioned briefly, that we discussed little bit. I don't think we discussed a lot, but was enough that to establish our situation where we have eternally a longing. I think I mentioned many times, many devotees sometimes complain that when they chant, they don't feel they are connected to experience the higher taste. So they kind of like slacken their chanting. But I mentioned that many times that yes, Madhurya Kadambini says you have to go down from a sensual to mental to intellectual to the soul. And the soul level, constitutional level, you will experience a eternal incessant longing for the Lord. It is innate, means it is inborn. It is not something you need to get from somewhere. So the initiation, Guru Diksha, initiation, Sadhu Sangha, it's all first thing to go there, to that level, that where I feel a deep separation, longing for the Lord. We all want to love in this world and be loved. Although there are times that, I mean, you may say, well, I have experience of frustration in our relationship with my friend. even within your own New Orleans or Alachua or somewhere, you may have experienced that already, that you have a frustration. We may say sometime to our friend, just leave me alone. Somebody told me that, that's what that person told me. I feel like horrible. I said, but if people literally left us alone, can you think for a moment? If really all your friends in New Orleans left you alone forever, will you be miserable or happy? You'll be miserable. But we say that, leave me alone. I just don't want to have, that, discussion or topic. So we do want relationship. This theme of intimate relationship between people, this is one of the most enduringly and appealing thing throughout the Indian history or American history or any civilized history. You can see that. So whether it be a novel or nowadays it be a Bollywood or Hollywood movies, they all talk about love, and of course talk about it in a romantic terms, largely between male and female. But still, the principle is that everybody wants to love. This is the key point Prabhupada began Nectar of Devotion. If you remember in the preface, Prabhupada is so genius, he hit that point. And everybody in this world cannot live, no one can live, Prabhupada challenged that question, without loving someone. They want to be feel loved and loving someone. This theme constantly attracts the human heart. Yet the fact of life is that whatever loving relationship we establish will be withered sooner or later. We'll find that sooner or later the person we love either go away or they go away for whatever reason. And if there is no reason, ultimately through death, then all the relations are terminated. That's a practical, I'm sure all of you can relate. How Mahaprabhu's this last part of his life, last part of Chaitanya Charitamrita Antolila, it's so exalted. How should we understand that it is a pure love that Mahaprabhu is experiencing? Now we discuss a little bit about longing for love is our deepest longing. Yet, it is inevitably frustrated in this world because of its temporary nature. Where does this longing come from? Can any one of you think deeply? Where does this longing coming from? It does not come from your body. It does not come from your mind. It does not come from any matter, any form of matter. It comes from the spirit. It is meant to be fulfilled in the spiritual realm. How it is fulfilled in the spiritual realm? Eternally is demonstrated in the loving relationship between Krishna or the Lord and his devotees. And Krishna has many devotees, many types of devotees, and topmost among them is Srimati Radharani. Krishna and Srimati Radharani, they have a very intimate love. In this loving reciprocation, actually, Krishna feels that I am left out. Radharani is feeling more ecstasy. I think Mother Brinda mentioned that in her presentation. Yeah, I think so. Mother Brinda was mentioning that, was wonderfully. That so Krishna wants to switch himself. Try to think like this. Just like Krishna feels that I'm left out, Radharani is feeling more ecstasy than what I'm experiencing. Just as others get more light from a lamp than the lamp itself, the lower side of the lamp remain unilluminated. Everybody has that experience, right? Whether it's a candle or any kind of chandelier. So Krishna wants to switch himself in the relationship from his position, that of the receiver of devotion, to the receiver of devotion. Who gives out devotion? So that's why he wants to take the mood of Srimati Radharani. And when he wants to take the mood of Srimati Radharani, we discuss which mood when Radharani was utterly maddened in separation from Krishna in the Ras Leela. Especially when she was separated from Krishna, as was manifested in the Gopi Geet. I don't know in New Orleans you sing, but in Alachua we sing for 1 month Gopi Geet. Jayati te adhikam janmana braja. Every evening we sing. That in Bhagavatam 31st chapter, 10th canto, when Krishna told Radharani that I'm going to come in your mood, Radharani thinks that Krishna's dark complexion is so irresistibly attractive that it will get spoiled when he falls or faints. So she covers him with her complexion. That's how he gets emotion and the complexion of Srimati Radharani. The Chaitanya Charitamrita explains this in the beginning. Sri Radha Pranaya Vikriti Ladini Shakti. In that verse, on the verse before, then we talk about emotion. If you think of a metaphor, a seed, first there has to be a fertile soil. And even when the soil is fertile, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives that example, without the seed in it, no fruit will grow. Everybody understand that concept? The fertile soil is Krishna's supreme attractiveness. The seed is Radharani's devotion. Just think of that metaphor. And the fruit is the ecstasy, the infinite happiness that Radharani experiences when she sees that Krishna loves her back. So she has immense love for Krishna. Immense love of Krishna. And Krishna wants to know, what is her love for me? What is the extraordinary nature of her attraction for me? And further, he wants to understand from Radharani's perspective, what is it that within him that attracts her? Then what is it when she sees that he loves me? Just as, for an example, mother understand, oh, my baby is seeing, he is also loving me. Mother feels great joy. Like that, when that awareness comes that not only do I love Krishna, not only is Krishna is lovable, but Krishna loves me back. The ecstasy that he experiences at that time, that is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also wants to experience. I hope everybody is getting that point. We discussed last few days, almost a week. I also mentioned in this Madhyalila, Antalila, Ratha Jatra, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gets to experience all these three categories. I think somebody asked that. I forgot which. Yeah, I think Gopal Radhe Prabhu asked that question about, or maybe somebody asked the question about Mahaprabhu form in Mayapur, or I mean Jogopit, is a more worshipable object than any other form. Generally in ISKCON you don't see Sannyasi Gaurnitai. I mean Mahaprabhu. You see Mayapur Gaurnita, Mahaprabhu, not Sannyas Mahaprabhu. By dancing in order to pull with his beauty of his dance, Jagannath back to Krishna is manifesting same ecstasy that Radharani felt when she was separated from Krishna. So when she was longing for union with him, then he sees the attractiveness of Krishna. That he is seeing that Jagannath is not just different from Krishna. It is Krishna in the ecstasy of about to be reunited through recollection with Krishna, with the Brajavasis. During the day, he was dancing, chanting with Ratha Jatra. At night in Gambhira, he was experiencing this. That is Jagannath. And lastly, I think now we also recently read that Jagannath actually noted Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and reciprocated. He would not move till, I mentioned, I forgot whether this class or other class, not even with the greatest physical force King Prataparudra was engaging. Jagannath would not move. But just by little tap of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's hand, he would move. That means that he showed, I notice, I appreciate your love. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw that, he just went into ecstasy, unable to even speak the names of Jagannath. In this way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in the Ratha Jatra pastimes, demonstrated the fulfillment of the three reasons why he manifested in this world. And this is what Mother Krishna Kanti Gopi narrated, that how he was experiencing those, fulfilling those three unfulfilled desires. Now, of course, somebody may think, Prabhu, is it possible that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela is too elevated for general public, including me? Yes, definitely, it is elevated. At the same time, there is the intellectual aspect with aesthetic aspect, with ultimately the spiritual aspect. The spiritual aspect of the Leela is what is that Krishna and Radharani are experiencing, that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu experienced. It is a very esoteric emotion which we cannot experience. But at the level of conceptualization, at the intellectual level, at least the conception of what is spiritual world is, if that itself is understood to some extent, that can enhance common people's attraction or neophyte devotees' attraction to spirituality, and ultimately it will attract to Krishna. And we all know Srila Prabhupada did not talk about Ras Leela too much. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur spoke Ras Leela every day. But then they say, we never saw he speaking Ras Leela every day. He said, then Srila Prabhupada's godbrother Sridhar Maharaj says, yes, he spoke every day that what is not Ras Leela. He spoke about Ras Leela, but what is not Ras Leela? Because in Bengal, that time Apasampradaya was imitating Ras Leela. But still, Srila Prabhupada talked about Krishna as a butter thief. So many lectures. He gave Krishna book for everyone, isn't? It has Ras Leela. For mass distribution, actually. Even Mahendra Prabhu asked Prabhupada, or that's how he said, that how come you put out the Krishna book? And Prabhupada said, how can you live without the beautiful face of Krishna? Prabhupada considered Krishna book like a beautiful face of Krishna. So, while it is difficult for people to understand that esoteric aspect of Lord Chaitanya's pastime, still the basic pastime, the basic conception that is there, if we can explain that, then it can be a whole new universe opening for many people in what spirituality is, what love for God is, what life's ultimate perfection is. So according to time, place, circumstances, we can explain to people but the elevated pastime of Lord Chaitanya and especially the internal mood, which Mother Krishna Kanti did a wonderful service. Yesterday also, Mother Anuradha did a wonderful, all of them. Mother Vishnupriya began with wonderful invocation, introduction. Jishnu Prabhu, Mother Gaurangi, everybody did a wonderful presentation. I really don't have enough price tag to actually value it, because you did more than somebody can pay for it. You have done such a wonderful service. So the Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition, in which it has been revealed that our acharyas have preserved it, have elaborated it, they have given it to us. And unfortunately, those elevated emotions have been prematurely imitated by the Sahajiyas or Upasampradaya. That has led to this 13 Upasampradaya. So without delay, I'm just going to give a little tips. When we pray the Sri Shikshastakam, as I experience in New Orleans, you all do every day after Mangalarti. In Alacho, we do Brahma Samhita and Shikshastakam. We have a different day, different things. But Shikshastakam we do every week, not every day, but every day we do different things also. Holy name offense, 10 offenses, and all things. So, what should be our mood when we recite Shikshastakam? I'll end with these little tips. When we recite verses, that should be in the mood of service. Please note it. Even singing, like Gopal Radhe Prabhu was singing about Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Jive Daya Kar. Who wrote this? Bhaktivinoda Thakur. What did he expressing? About the surrender, Saranagati. We have to have the mood of serving that Saranagati under Bhaktivinoda Thakur's. Now what is happening here, if you really think very deeply, we thought, we had a long discussion a few years back, I remember. Bhakti Charan Maharaj was there also with us. It is said that any form of prayer we offer to Krishna, clearly said it pleases Krishna. Please remember that. But if we repeat the prayers generally two. One is your own personal composed. Prayers are nothing but expression of each devotee's emotional feeling, verbalizing by taking shelter of a language, whether it's English or Hindi or Sanskrit or Bengali, I don't know. It could be any language, whatever the language that devotee is familiar with. They express their feeling. Since time immemorial, you can see in every culture, the human hearts commune with the divine heart. How? Through the prayers. So this Shikshashtaka prayers is so important. It pleases Krishna. So as I said, if we repeat the prayers which are offered by a great devotees, then it is not just that we are offering a structured prayer to Krishna, but by reciting that prayers, we are also reminding Krishna what? Of that devotee, that Bhaktivinoda Thakur prayed like this, Prabhu. Lord Chaitanya is listening, that Gopal Radhe Prabhu reminding Chaitanya Mahaprabhu how Bhaktivinoda Thakur has submitted this Saranagati. When we repeat Prahlad Maharaj's prayer or Gopi's prayers or King Jayati's prayers, any prayers, Vishwanath Chakravarti, Gurvastakam prayers, everyday Mangalati we chant, we also remind Krishna of those devotees. Then what happened? Krishna is pleased, and those we get mercy from Krishna and also from those devotees. Just like in the past, we see that somebody send a message to someone, or a good news to the king, and then the king would give you some gift as a reward. So when we pray, we get a reward. Now you may say, Prabhu, I don't see it. I sing every day. I don't see it. It is stored in the subtle body. Your consciousness, as soon as it is pure, you will have access of all those. That is the difference between Prabhupada or great devotee and versus me. My consciousness is not completely pure. Prabhupada consciousness is pure. But the same substance also in my heart, Prabhupada's heart. We have love for Krishna, Prabhupada has love for Krishna. But his consciousness was so pure, so he could channel, reciprocate instantly, all the time. Same thing, if we are in a mood of service, then we are reminding Krishna of his devotee through a prayer. So in the case of these prayers and recited in the mood of Srimati Radharani, we are reminding Krishna of Radharani when you recite Shikshastakam. Can you remember, all of you, when you recite Shikshastakam next time, I mean tomorrow morning, think that actually you're reminding Krishna about Radharani, because Radharani is the one who actually recited this Shikshastakam. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also recited. When we remind Krishna, Krishna becomes very pleased. So that way also we can attract Krishna's mercy. So largely we do it in the mood of service. The realization will come gradually. If we have certain conception, it is not that our conception are necessarily wrong, but we can check with some senior devotee, whatever realization you have when you pray those prayers. Okay, Prabhu, this is my understanding. Is this all right? Is this okay? Or is this not okay? Then we avoid thinking in those directions if it is not okay. And if it is right, then you promote. Because when you sing, you have some feeling. Should we go with that feeling more? Don't ask a wrong person. Ask somebody who is senior, who can support you. Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur said, if you have a one or two supporting your advancement, you should feel great. I was thinking, why 1, 2? We have hundreds. But after that many years, I'm thinking, yeah, 1, 2 is enough. If we can get a 1, 2, we are lucky. Because not everybody will understand your advancement, whoever you are. So I'll end with this, that more we pray this Shikshastakam or any other Vaishnava bhajans, then we will be close to those prayers and drawing mercy. Also, we get more substance to contemplate while we are reciting those verses. What will be the end conclusion? Our absorption in Krishna become more and more. Gaur Pramanande Hari Hari Bol. So in this Krishna consciousness, we don't just make our offering prayers, we are ourselves the offering. So I'll end here. Now the second part of the program that Gopal Radhe Prabhu will probably remind each of candidate, not candidate, what do you call, president.
Hare Krishna. Haribol Prabhu, Dandot Pranam. Thank you so much for wonderfully speaking about Chaitanya Charitamrita and giving us such a wonderful overview of the entire Chaitanya Charitamrita in just 6 days. So thank you so much. And we don't want to fall short in appreciating all the youth that came forward, taking out time despite of their exams, their projects, their schoolwork, their homework and other things, and still taking out time to take up this presentation. Wonderful task that they took up and presented such wonderful presentations, around which Of course, Prangan Prabhu spoke so wonderfully. So I think Jishnu Prabhu is raising his hand. Maybe he has some question. Yes, Jishnu Prabhu.
Prabhuji, I was wondering if you're still giving a conclusion.
Is your face look like Krishna Balaram together, or you have a face?
I think they're more beautiful.
But devotees' inner beauty is more attractive than external. You can what do you call, become visible.
No, Prabhuji, I was just wondering if Gopal Prabhu is still giving a conclusion.
Oh no, I'm not going to be giving the conclusion. What I'll do is we'll be having the quiz in the last, but that is also mostly like a form which I'll be sending out, and you all can answer. And tomorrow in Gaur Katha by Radhacharan Prabhu, we have tomorrow evening Gaur Katha. So we'll be discussing at the end who won. So thank you very much. So now Prangovinda Prabhu actually wanted to hear from all our presenters about their journey, about how they went through this wonderful service, all the excitement, all the obstacles, and other things, realizations they had while completing this journey. So we'll be giving 5 minutes to each presenter. So we will start first with Vishnu Priya. So she did the
Also, you
first.
can say, what they are taking. That's
Yes,
something they will apply in their life from this session. From
yes. So we will start with Vishnu Priya, who presented the first day. Thank
followed
you.
by
The second day was, I think, Brinda. Excuse me, was second day. So Brinda, you be ready after Vishnu Priya? Thank you.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is actually a big surprise for me, so I wasn't really prepared to say anything. But I guess I would say, so you wanted to know about my journey for this presentation? Or
Yeah, wow, what all you went through, how you felt doing this service, and also what you're going to take from this presentation that you gave, or from the whole Chaitanya Charitamrita class course also.
So I think one of the things that I realized is just by researching and going through the book by Sutava Prabhu is just, I was feeling very overwhelmed in the beginning, just thinking thinking about the fact that it's Chaitanya Chaitamrita and it's the most advanced book there is. And I cannot even touch it. Like I'm nowhere near qualified to understand or read or even present anything on the Chaitanya Chaitamrita. But reading the compact by Sutava Prabhu, it just it gave me a lot of comfort, and I was still able to learn so much. And I would go back and forth into the actual text of Chaitanya Chaitamrita just to read more about the pastimes. And since I had invocation and incarnation, I actually read part of the first few chapters in Adi Lila a long time ago. So I was a bit familiar with it, but I was able to really dive deeper through this presentation, and I felt so much of gratitude to read about this great author Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, who wrote with so much of humility. And I just remember one line where he said, "A grantha lekhai more Madana Mohan." So he's really just he's expressing how everything that he's writing in the Chaitanya Chaitamrita, it's because of the mercy from Madan Mohan and all the previous acharyas and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So from him, we can learn, how can we practice being humble? How, he's the true example of humility. And he's like he's the best presenter because he's the author of this book. So we can learn how to present from Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami in Chaitanya Chaitamrita, as well as the author of the Compact, which is the Prabhu. And one main thing that I will take away from my presentation is the four main teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which is distributing pure love of Godhead, which is the main goal. And then the object of love is Sri Krishna, who lives in Vrindavan. And the shining love, or the shining example of that love, are the gopis in Vrindavan. And the guidebook for developing love is Srimad Bhagavatam. So those are the four main teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as I found in the incarnation section. So I really want to meditate on that and always keep that in my mind whenever I share about Mahaprabhu with anyone. And another song that really describes Lord Chaitanya's instructions is Jare Dakho Tare Bolo Krishna Upadesh Amara Ke Guru Hai Tare Desh. And also Bolo Krishna Bhaja Krishna Karo Krishna Shikha. So we need to always speak about Krishna, we need to worship Krishna, and chant Krishna's names. And I also want to really appreciate all of my peers who gave such wonderful presentations, and I was completely amazed and very much impressed from seeing their presentations, and I got to learn a lot from them. So I really appreciate all of them because I understand how much effort it took from all of them to take out time from the daily life of school and everything else, all the other seva that they do in their daily life. So they took out so much of time. I really appreciate all of them. Thank you so much for inspiring me. And of course, thank you, Gopalade Prabhu and Pran Govinda Prabhu, for organizing this amazing session, and also being able to hear from Pran Govinda Prabhu every single day after our presentations, and how he expanded on everything so nicely and enlightening all of us. Thank you so much. We are eternally grateful to you for that. And thank you to all the audience devotees for being so patient and listening to us and our presentations. I'm sorry, I think I took too long. I really was not prepared for this. So I'll stop here. Thank you. And please bless me so I can develop the desire to read more about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and serve in his mission. And please, Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Wonderful.
Thank you, Vishnupriya, very wonderfully. Now next, Brinda. After that, I request Jishnu Prabhu to get ready. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Dandavad Pranam. Thank you so much for organizing these amazing seminars on Chaitanya Charitamrita. One main thing that I learned while doing my presentation, especially the two sections that I was that I presented on is that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes and the entire Chaitanya Charitamrita, it's full of joy. It's completely bliss, and it's only bliss and bliss page after page. Usually, or I before doing this presentation, I used to think that Chaitanya Charitamrita is a very difficult literature or one of the highest shastras because it has the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who comes in the mood of Srimati Radharani, and also his pastimes are not so much publicly discussed by many people, but while reading the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I learned how ecstatic they are, and it really fills our heart with joy. You know, whatever anxieties or depression that we may have, it all goes away. Like Pranganda Prabhu was saying in today's class that we want lasting happiness. We want to be loved. We want to love and to be loved, but we don't get that. And even if we do, it always goes away after a certain time. But when we realize the origin of this love, which is in the spiritual world, we can get a glimpse of how that lasting love is, and we will work for that. And I think that was one main takeaway from my presentation, that we don't know what there is for us, and that's why it's so important for us to read Srila Prabhupada's books, not just Chaitanya Charitamrita, but also other books written by Srila Prabhupada, that when we open even just one page and read it, we realize how much there is for us, how much Krishna has, how much Krishna wants to give us. We just have to be eager to receive that love and mercy from Krishna and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And also, why is Chaitanya Charitamrita so joyful is because of the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's childhood pastimes. They're so sweet, and we can listen to them again and again. And I really loved hearing about Lord Chaitanya's pastimes. And I also want to thank everyone else, all the other presenters, for doing a phenomenal job of presenting these sections. And also, my favorite part of all of their presentations was the main takeaways, like especially their part where they described why is this part important, and that really helped me understand why should I care about whatever we're reading and what we're learning. And yeah, I want to thank Prankunda Prabhu, Sudhava Prabhu, and Gopal Radhe Prabhu for organizing this. And one thing I learned from Sudhava Prabhu is that we need to protect our time in the morning to chant and to read Srila Prabhupada's books, because when we chant and read, we get the strength to be Krishna conscious throughout the day. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Brinda. Hari Bol. Now I will request Jishnu Prabhu to speak, and following that, I request Gaurangi to get ready. Thank you. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. I'll go Shri Guru and Gauranga, I'll go Shri Prabhupada. Um, I don't have anything really much to say, but my whole experience was sort of last minute, and I was just like, I was so, I didn't know what to do. Like, I really didn't know what to do because I saw my first two presentation and I was like, this is too good. There's no way I can come to this level. And then I'm just like, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? And so I messaged Rangaman Prabhu. I was like, Harbo Prabhuji, I'm really not not having any enthusiasm, nothing. Like, I just didn't know what to do. And I was just like, looking for some hope and just, I just wanted some light, to be shined upon me. So he ended up just like, he read my message and he sent me this quote by Sri Prabhupada, which I said on my presentation, but I want to say it one more time. It's on April 1st. Sri Prabhupada says, April Fools, interestingly, but sorry. If you're steady either in success or failure, that is called yoga. Don't mind for the success or failure. Do act on behalf of the Supreme Lord. And if you're steady in that position, then your working in spiritual platform is successful. Actually, one of my main reasons of like just not like being able to like struggling that specific day was because I just really didn't know what to do. And so I was like, what am I gonna do? And I didn't know what was really going through my head. It was mainly, I think, it was like, oh, am I really going to be able to, like do better than, or at least be close to the presentations that were before me? And it was this. It made me realize that is what I was afraid of. I was just afraid of just failing everyone. I was afraid of failing Prangaman Prabhu. I was afraid of failing Gopal Prabhu. But I knew I had to do it. Like that like that determination that I have to get it done was for sure. But yeah, so I'm just really thankful for that. But in the whole process of figuring out what to do and learning, it was a whole learning curve, because I I really didn't know where to start, but it was nice. It was like I read a lot of things that I would have not normally read or understood, and I'm definitely very thankful to Sudha Prabhu. And obviously that whole surprise, I didn't even think he would come because I thought he was really busy. But the whole surprise of him just coming, I was like, whoa, okay, this was so uncalled for. But what I am thankful for is that to Sudha Prabhu is that he made like from this whole voluminous work of like Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, he'd made it into this small book, which at first I thought it was very hard. It's going to be like very time consuming to read, but as I read it on, I was just like, wow, this is very easy. It's not that much. There's not that much in it, and he summarized it in such a way for like even like the most like anyone who just who hasn't never read Chaitanya Charitamrita would understand it very easily, such as myself. So I'm definitely thankful for that, and obviously I'm always thankful to Prangaman Prabhu for for his amazing, wonderful lectures and his amazing talks on things that I've probably never thought of myself. And I'm also thankful to Gopal Prabhu for organizing this amazing. We're gonna do from here.
Go far away.
I don't know. What was that? I didn't hear. What was that? You went on mute.
Yeah. Well, I was just. But yeah, I think that was it. Definitely thankful for everyone.
Okay. Thank you. Next, Gorangi, and after that, Anuradha. Thank you.
Okay, Paul Radhe, can I speak a little bit?
I was going to let you speak after them.
After I have to go to Maharaj
Okay.
service, actually, Maharaj.
Okay.
We'll morning, please.
Okay. We'll let
please.
our special guest today. Special guest appeared.
Special
Sadhudev
guest,
Prabhu can speak. Yes.
Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpataru vasya kipasindeva vasya patidanam pavaneva vaishnava namo nama. I really thanks to all of you especially Pran Govinda Prabhu, that he took the trouble for us to educate our children's, all the community. He's very wonderful, wonderful person. We are so fortunate that we got the mercy, causeless mercy. Like Mahaprabhu came here to give the Krishna Prem unconditionally. Just Pran Govinda Prabhu also like that, to educate our children's nicely. I really appreciate all the girls, all the children, whoever spoke. First of all, I'd like to thanks to Vishnu Priya. He talk of invocation and incarnation on the establishment of Mahaprabhu's divinity and reason for his descent, as well as his miraculous childhood pastimes. Vishnupriya is a really good student, very good student. You have a lot of responsibility now. You have to teach to the children. Now you all Bhakti Shastri, past Bhakti Shastri. It is your responsibility to take care of the New Orleans Sunday school kids. You talk about Mahaprabhu. It is very, very essential. Even most of the Indian also doesn't know who is Mahaprabhu, how merciful he is, and he is Lord himself. It is our duty to give Mahaprabhu to them. That is the greatest welfare work. Secondly, Brinda is nice, she is always mood of goodness, always. You spoke about education and transformation. Brinda spoke on Mahaprabhu's scholastic pastime and how Mahaprabhu received initiation from Isar Puri and began to popularize congregational chanting and accept sannyas. We all know Mahaprabhu, Lord himself, he doesn't need to take sannyas, but just to teach the Kali Yuga people, he took this sannyas and he acted like a devotee to realize the Srimati Radharani's feeling. Krishna himself appeared, as a devotee. Thank you, Brinda. I know you are very quiet, but you are good for personal preaching. Try also, whoever you meet in your college or in the community, your father and mother is very fortunate to got a girls like you. I really appreciate, we are really thankful to your contribution for this course. Third of all, Jishnu, he talked about renunciation and propagation. I think you are, Prabhu, you are Dayananda Prabhu's son. I heard that just,
Yes, Prabhuji.
Oh, I know. You was very small when you was here.
Yes.
Then after the hurricane, we all suffer. You all gone to Dallas. It's very nice to see you after a long time, How is your parents? How they are doing?
They're doing very well, Prabhuji. Nice to see you too.
Nice to see you. I saw you when you was kid. Thank you so much. You Vishnu Prabhu, you spoke about Mahaprabhu. Journey after sannyas, following the Sachimata's order and convincing Sarvabhavana Bhattacharya, Bhakti Yoga, and touring South India and back to Puri for Rath Yatra festival. Rath Yatra is most popular festival in ISKCON. It is all Mahaprabhu's kripa. Thank you so much, Then Gaurangi is Radhakanti's leader. She has quality to become leader. All qualities. Vishnu Priya and Gaurangi is really two ladies I appreciate. They are good leader. Vishnu Priya, Gaurangi, I heard that your class in the other day when you was giving PowerPoint presentation is really, really wonderful. Really wonderful. You spoke on Mahaprabhu's finally fulfilling his desire to go to Vrindavan and rediscovering the sacred landmarks and Mahaprabhu's teachings to Rupa and Sanatana Goswami on the science of devotion. Actually, by the mercy of Mahaprabhu, we know that all Krishna's pastimes, Thank you so much. Thank you. But you have also, I told Vishnu Priya and you also, and also Krishna, these three have duty to teach the Sunday school students. You please, I beg to you all, Anuradha also, and all the devotees, whoever spoke, this is our very important work. Our kids doesn't know the Bengali. I feel sad. My son also. I'm not blaming. I cannot speak anybody because I couldn't teach my son Bengali. Believe that, learn that language, and you will really enjoy the sweet pastime of Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Bhagavat, all this. Please, you all, Anuradha, I can see your face now. You take care of your sister, way you take care of your sister I saw in the temple. This way you have to take care of the children and teach them Bengali, please, please. So that they will learn Bengali, you all also, if you don't know. At least you guys can speak, I know, but try to write, okay? This is great responsibilities for you all. Because our days are almost over, we are close to 60s. See, it is you all can take this movement. Then Prabhupada and your spiritual masters will be very, very, very happy. You really get the Mahaprabhu's mercy if you take this trouble. When Jodhurani Mataji came here, I heard, she was talking something, how hard work they have done. Even she want to please Prabhupada, to please our founder Acharya. Even they don't mind to steal the whole truck of milk just to make sweet rice. She was telling that story. So you all please, Krishna given you energy, Krishna given you intelligence, you have education, you can preach in America. I had an argument with Vittalesha today, to some point that we was talking, this temple, don't take it out. I don't want to commit offense to him. But his idea, his frustration is not the local devotees, local people is becoming devotee in the United States. I says, these kids also, they are Americans. They are local. They will stay here. They will take care of this temple. I hope you all take this trouble for Krishna, Prabhupada, and his spiritual master. It will be more pleasurable when you do and take trouble for Krishna. You feel really happy eternally. It is such a happiness. Maybe some $1 million of money, you realize this is nothing. And you all have qualities. You have the potential. Please utilize that. Now, Anuradha, you spoke about appreciation and correction. Anuradha spoke on Mahaprabhu's daily interaction with devotees while teaching, showing appreciation and correction of Vaishnava etiquette with dangerous of fault finding and inappropriate association. Very good point, Anuradha, you spoke. It is very difficult, it's very essential. Devotees should have love to each other. I had a meeting, I was hearing in the class, but I'm so unfortunate. I don't have time to hear all the classes. I had to go to the Maharaj. There was one devotee who was so disappointed with the community. So Maharaj was telling me that things. Everybody has a fault. I have a fault, maybe more than anybody else here, you all. But we should have love for devotees. It's very difficult. Maharaj was telling me, make sure nobody left the organization. Please. This is very nice, Anuradha. You spoke the very, very, very important things. How Mahaprabhu was merciful, how the devotee association is so much, is material world. It is very difficult, especially in America where we live here in New Orleans. It's more dangerous zone. So please follow it and try to be compassionate with the devotees. I'm not telling only you, everybody, please do that. Krishna, you need to speak a little loud. Krishna Kanti, intoxication and instruction. You did good presentation, Krishna. I was here. I was hearing, fortunately, I hear all your classes. Very nice. You are really, I told you, so you should teach to the Sunday school students, to the kids, They will know about Mahaprabhu. That is more important than anything else, Krishna is God, Indian people knows, but Mahaprabhu is also God and most merciful. Very few knows and believe it. Even they know they cannot believe 100%. That's the reason I told Pran Govinda Prabhu, this is the problem. That's one, I believe that, I accept that things. I heard that thing, so he's some of the Indians still in our congregation think he is a one-saintly person. One. But they don't know about the Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna himself, and he's the most merciful, most merciful. I really appreciate to you all, whoever listening this class also, so long, another 3 days, 2 days, Friday and Saturday, Radhacharan Prabhu also will give class. He is also Pandit. See, we should think about, we got this opportunity. We are so fortunate in New Orleans community that we got such a learned people. And please listen attentive, sincerely, so that we can take the best fruit from them, Thank you so much to you all. One more time, Gopal Radhe, you are really good organizer. Without you, all these things probably New Orleans, whole course, whole classes, everything was not possible. Your dad is really fortunate. They got a nice son like you, I wish my son could be like this, like you, Thank you so much, Pran Govinda Prabhu. Please take care. We beg to your feet. Please be merciful unto us, please. Thank you so much to you all. Okay, please forgive me if I commit any offense unto you all, Lord's feet, please. Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Shraddhadev Prabhu ki jai.
And don't sound. Okay, I have to go. Please forgive me. You know, Maharaj is leaving 4 o'clock. I have to pack his bag, you know.
Thank you, Shraddhadev Prabhu, for wonderful words of inspiration and blessings upon everybody. Thank you. So now we'll hear from, who was that? I lost track. Who was supposed to speak? I think Gaurangi was supposed to speak, right, Gaurangi? Okay.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, we can hear you very well.
Hare Krishna, everybody. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Shraddha Prabhu spoke so nicely about everybody and really went through everyone's presentations and said such lovely things about them. And it really was very... Sorry, 1 second. Oh. Hare Krishna, so sorry, I had to change locations quickly. But Shraddha Prabhu really went through everybody and said such nice things, and it was so thought-provoking, and it really made me think about how we have a small but our own kind of youth group here. And thank you so much, Gopal Prabhu, for making this possible. I don't think we would have, I don't think I would have ever gotten to do this type of seva. And I feel like the Lord really has the power to, I'm sorry, I really feel like the Lord has the power to, when you're going through something or when you're thinking about something, to put the right texts in your way. And I very much felt that with my section, because to be honest, I didn't really go over the sections when I chose the section I wanted. I saw aspiration and organization, and those words just really intrigued me. So I chose that section. And when I went through the text and started reading it, even though it was so, it was such high knowledge, it was very comforting to me, because there were so many things that I learned throughout the process that I actually really needed to know at that point in my life. And I needed to be reminded of it over and over again. So much like the renunciation, I think that whole aspect, and going through that and focusing on how we should give our work in the service of the Lord as college students. I'm pretty sure my peers can attest to this, that it's so hard sometimes to find the motivation to think, why am I doing this subject that's so not even related to my spirituality? I wish that I could just take this time and do something else spiritual. So it was so comforting to that the Lord actually put that in my way, that that this is all in an offering to Him. And I guess the glories of Vrindavan as well was also in my section, and that part really resonated with me, because I very much love the Vrindavan Dham so much, and just learning more about the gravity and learning some of the shlokas even that sing about the glories of the Dham. It got me very much enthusiastic. I still do not, I can't believe that I even spoke about the Chaitanya Charitamrita, but it did get me very enthusiastic, because I feel like the best method of learning is to teach. And even though this shoved me into the deep end, I feel like I learned so much. So I feel like if anyone asks me ever like anything about Mahaprabhu's travels, or about the organization, how Mahaprabhu taught, I feel like I'll have just a little bit of more knowledge. I feel like I had almost no knowledge. I'll have a little bit more now. So thank you so much, Prabhu Govinda Prabhu, for being so so for being so patient through all of our presentations. I know I must have committed so many mistakes and offenses while doing it. So thank you so much for going through that. And I hope that that you will keep in contact with us here and let us learn more from you. And thank you so much, Gopal Prabhu, again. I don't think I can, I don't think my thanks will be enough for giving us this opportunity to do seva. So thank you so much.
Haribol, thank you. Thank you, Gaurangi. You all did such wonderful service. And I think I've grown twice in size, puffed up with all the appreciation. I don't know if you all can see that. Okay, next, Anuradha is there. Haribol, Anuradha. Yes.
Hare Krishna, please accept my most humble obeisances. I just want to thank again Pran Govinda Prabhu, Gopal Radha Prabhu, and Sutava Prabhu for like this amazing opportunity. As many of you know, I do not like to talk. Public speaking is actually one of my worst fears. So when this opportunity came, I'm glad I took it, even though a part of me just wanted to run away. But I really like the book that Sutava Prabhu had written. It helped me understand such high knowledge points and to be able to present it to others as well. I loved learning about all the different pastimes that the Lord had with all the different devotees, especially Govinda and Jagadananda Pandit. Those two were probably my favorite pastimes. I can sympathize with them, and I kind of understand how like the emotions that they felt whenever they interacted with the Lord. That's all I have. Thank you.
Haribol, Haribol, thank you. We just saw Bhagavati. We missed her out. So next time we definitely that she's going to be the first person we're going to catch, Bhagavati. Let her know that because she missed out on the opportunity this time. Next time, first she's going to be caught to uh, come forward. Okay, and then last but not the least, Krishna is not here. She had to leave, but anyways, so that's all from the speakers, Prabhu. If you will give me some time, I can speak like 2 minutes. I'm going to Prabhu. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Oh, I see some devotees have raised hand. Yes, Dandakesh Mataji, please.
Yes, I wanted to say something. I've been there the whole time, like a little, not saying anything. I have to say that one of the first class that Pangovida gave was about caring. He was saying how Lord Chaitanya cares so much, and the 6 Goswamis, they worked and planned so hard to fulfill Lord Chaitanya's mission. And of course, the Acharyas, Srila Prabhupada, how much care they gave for the whole world, pretty much. So what touched me the most in your Sangha, maybe more than the Katha itself, is all this extraordinary care, which is extremely, how to say, very enlivening. So, for example, all those young Vaishnavas and Vaishnavas, they really put so much care in their presentation. It was a small audience. My mood is like, oh, okay, it's good enough. That's be sorry, my mood. But they really did it like to perfection. It takes a lot of time, a lot of care. So this was very amazing to me. And of course, I can understand that those young girls, they have been coached, they have been nurtured. And I understand that the mature Vaishnavas have been there caring for them. And it's a difficult task. Young people are very sensitive, and you have to treat everybody, especially the way they are. It's not like an easy task. And So I think can see a lot of care, not only from the parents, but from the community, to have those young girls blossom spiritually. And of course, on a higher level, my sincere gratitude goes for like self-realized Vaishnavas like Pran Govinda or Sutapa. They spend hours sharing their precious realizations, their deep understanding of the Shastras, and they inspire us with the devotional sentiments we aspire to. It's not just knowledge, it's very, it's devotion. So I'm an older devotee and I've seen a lot of difficult days in the early days of the movement. And seeing this Sangha of yours is very, very comforting and encouraging for the future of ISKCON. I feel such a happiness that knowing that such people are going to be there taking care of things. So I thank you so much for having me at your Sangha. Hare Krishna.
Very well, Mataji. Thank you so much for such wonderful blessings and appreciations. Definitely coming from you, who is very senior Prabhupada disciple. That was really, really wonderful. And I'm sure that's going to inspire all the youths to keep coming forward with this service. This is just the beginning for them to start doing. And definitely, they are the future. And we are also very proud of them. Like Prangovinda Prabhu was saying, when Vallabh Bhatta came, then Vallabhacharya, when he came, Mahaprabhu was very nicely, he was very happy and proud to show Rupa Goswami, this is my disciple. This is, Rupa Goswami. He's such wonderful and all. So definitely, this is all our pride of New Orleans in our community. So thank you very much. I saw Ishwar Prabhu was raising his hand. Ishwar Prabhu, आपने किसी बोलते चान? Earlier, Ishwar Prabhu had raised his hand.
Yes, Prabhu, already I'm to say something, but already Sudhadeva Prabhu told the same here. It's really I'm done with all Vaishnavas and Matajis. And it's really so nice, but Godadhar Prabhu is supposed to say something. That reason I'm raising the hand. Okay.
Okay, Prabhu, Radhe Radhe, Haribol, please accept my obeisances, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Haribol, I know, time is very short, everyone is running very quick. But anyway, I have a small announcement. I know all the devotees, they're celebrating like pre-festival, especially, the Pran Govinda Prabhu is really inspiring us. So I really thankful to him. I really thank you. So my small announcement is the part of our festival, like Gaur Purnima festival, we do basically like indoor and outdoor preaching. Now the outdoor preaching, basically we do prasadam distribution, book distribution, and Harinam. So we are organizing Harinam and this Saturday. So especially I will request amongst our community, those who are still in the screen or those who are listening. So everyone, I will request humbly. So please assemble in the temple by 3:30 because 4 o'clock our Harinam will start and we'll go to the from temple to the city park and from city park to we'll come back to the temple. So I will request everyone, I'll just, reminding everyone. So please be assembled in the temple by 3:30. 4 o'clock, Harinam will start. Hare Krishna. Of course, devotional clothes. Mataji is please wearing sari and Prabhuji is please wear dhoti kurta. Hare Krishna. Radhe Radhe.
Very well, very well. Thank you. So yes, that is Saturday program. Day after tomorrow, it's also Adivas Day. So tomorrow we'll be hearing from Radhacharan Prabhu class, and then on Saturday we'll have this Harinam program, which I'll be also announcing tomorrow evening. So thank you very much, Gadadhar Prabhu, for that. So I would just like to appreciate all the devotees who are here assembled that have been taking part, encouraging all these devotees. When Pran Prabhu called me and he said, Gopal Prabhu, we want to do this program, but I want to involve everybody. How can we involve and wake up everybody? So I said, Prabhu, I don't know what can be done. This is 1 month Gaur Katha going on. People are getting less enthusiastic as time is going on. He's like, no, we have to do something. So he's like, why don't you ask uh, all the youths to do presentation? And I was like, Prabhu, they will have school, exam also and everything. I don't know if they will be able to do. Prabhuji is like, why are you so negative? Why don't you be positive? Just see, they will all come and they will do. And he told me, you have, I said, okay, Prabhu, I will try. He said, no, you are not going to try. Say, I will do it. And I said, okay, Prabhu, I'll try. He said, no, say, I will do it. So then he forced me to say, yes, Prabhu, I will do it. And so all this came by because of the instruction of a devotee. This, all the youth, they are here. I am here for so many years, but we never could come together and do such a wonderful program. Why? Because we did not have the instruction from a devotee. Unless we have an instruction or unless we have the order from the devotee, it is not possible. And I learned one more thing which practically made it true also is whenever the devotees they instruct you to do something, with that instruction also comes empowerment. We don't need any effort in that. You see, I did not do anything. All the other youths, they did such wonderful presentation. I just sat back and I watched. But we can see the instruction when the devotees, whenever they gave instruction, when Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur gave the instruction to Srila Prabhupada, with that, the power also to fulfill it is there. So that is why we sing in Tulsi Arati also, Seva Adhikaro Diye Koro Nijo Dasi. This can take in two ways. One is give me Seva Adhikar, or give me the Adhikar to do Seva. And another way is to say, is give me Seva and also give me the Adhikar to complete that Seva. So, of course, the devotees always do that. So, thank you so much, Pran Govinda Prabhu, for doing that. And I really, really appreciate all the youths. You know, I personally, I had doubts whether you would come and do it because of all your tight schedules. I know Vishnu Priya has been handling all the japa sessions. Just one of you that I've been always in contact with, Vishnu Priya, has been helping me with the japa sessions. She's been doing it so much. She has work, exams, college. I think Brinda had an exam this week also, and I'm sure some of you also had. So we can see, but still I was like, oh, I don't know, they are so busy, what is going to happen? But Prabhuji said, and you all also stepped up, and I was so enthusiastic, enthused by Anandini Mataji's speech. She said, oh, it pleases me so much that all our kids are engaged in this and how they are taking so much time to read and research and do this wonderful. And she was like saying, you should encourage them to do more like this. And today also Gorangi said that, you know, they feel that the youths and all, Dandakesh Mataji also said that, you know, they need the youths and the young people, they need a lot of encouragement. They're very sensitive. Many times they feel dejected. Oh, there is no seva for me because I cannot do puja in the altar. That means there is no seva. But there is so much seva that is there in the temple, like these wonderful preaching activities, which can help out in preaching. So thank you very much. I hope we will be seeing more and more presentations, more and more activities like this. And I know Sutama Prabhu, we just started with the topmost Chaitanya Charitamrita, he also has done for Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, and hopefully that will be our targets in the future, running over Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam overview. That will be also very, very wonderful, and I hope you all will help me. And Shraddha Prabhu already and has put us on this task to help the youth and the kids here teach Sunday school and all. And I think I can see all of you such wonderful teachers. You all can help by teaching them and giving them Krishna consciousness. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna. So Pran Govinda Prabhu, yes.
We can end. It's getting late for
Yes,
everyone.
Prabhu, we will end now. The quiz, I'm just going to put the quiz on the chat. You can pick it up from there. And I'm also going to put it the link for the quiz, and I'm also going to put the link for the what do you call it on the group, our group. Actually, I'll just put it there.
That will be
So
good.
in that way, you will be able to just take it and do it later. Yes, Prabhu.
Now I would like to request everyone to chant 3 times Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Begin with the Panchatattva mantra, and then we'll end by Bancha Kalpataruvesya. Is that okay? This will be
Yes.
good. As Krishna is all pure and all attractive, even you remember him consciously, may not be spontaneously still. That remembers help you become purified and increasingly attracted to him. So, even if we cannot memorize many spiritual facts or verses that you went through, after a few weeks you'll say, oh, I forgot all things. If we just determinedly keep directing our thoughts devotionally towards him, our attraction to him will slowly but surely increase. Eventually, we'll achieve the purpose and perfection of a good memory, indeed, of all human faculties. Eternal ecstatic absorption in Krishna. So please join together. We can chant Panchatattva mantra 1 time and 3 times Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Vancha kalpa taruvesya kipa sindhu vaivacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo Srila Prabhupada ki jai, ISKCON Guru Vrinda ki jai, New Orleans devotee Vrinda ki jai, all the devotee participant ki jai, Gaur Pramanande, Hari Hari Bol. Please keep in touch.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Pran Govinda Prabhu, Haribol. Just before we leave and start our Japa session on the other link, quick announcement. Tomorrow, again, we will be having Gaur Katha. Tomorrow, we'll have wonderful speaker, His Grace Radhacharan Prabhu. Again, same time, the same link from 6 to 7:30. And he will be speaking about Gaur Avatar and Gaur Avatar and Gaur Tattva Nirupana. So about Gaur Tattva and Gaur Avatar, tomorrow's topic. So I request you all to please come and attend tomorrow again. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna.